Hi everyone, you're listening to the Vialucci Podcast, uncensored and completely unedited discussions about life and everything in it. We hope you enjoy the show.
I still haven't found out what that is. Can we just clear that up once and for all? Why are you Chaz?
Because I used to hang out with this Canadian dude, and he was like, "Yo, Chaz," because it was like Canadian. So you know, like Chuck is like American for Charles. Well, Chaz was thinking. So I thought it's funny. So I put like Chaz is like that's because this is my junk email account that I log on with Skype with basically. So it's my Microsoft. I think it's my Hotmail account. It's my junk account. So.
Not because you're Chaz and Dave.
No, it's Chaz Matats.
Yeah, his mate's called Dave. Yeah, that'd be great. That.
My mate used to have nickname. His name was Tom, but he used to be called Dave, and then he got a skinhead, so he was called Army Dave for a while.
Oh, nice. Have we started the show? I don't know. Kerem disappeared, so I don't know if we've officially started the show.
Well, it's recording, man. Yeah.
Well, there you go. So at some point, Kerem will start the show, which is, I'm assuming, has already happened. So do we say hello, or do we just carry on talking? I don't know.
Let's just say hello for manners.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. So this is
a free podcast.
Yeah. Remember, you're not being charged. Yeah. Already, we're already throwing in the Joker card. So this is our. Go on, Andrew, you say it.
Well, apparently this is the season 1 finale.
This is really it. But it's not. It's the government's fault. We shouldn't have had to. We should have had season 2 start in the new office.
I blame the government.
No, I was too optimistic, thinking they would have sorted this out and we would be in the new office by now with season 2 start with a proper podcast, not all these test shows that we've done, the 100 test shows. So we've been forced.
We just wanted to be thorough with our testing. That was all.
Yeah, we want to make sure.
Test and trace.
Yeah, we So we should have really been 10 shows ago. Should have been the start, but we pushed it back. It annoys me that I started on 99.5. Why didn't you just? I thought there'd just be 2, but then we had to go to 6, 7, 8, 9.
You underestimated coronavirus. Basically.
Yeah, I did. I was a fool.
Yeah.
I was an optimistic fool. This is our last show, and we're probably going to have a month before we record in the new place. I mean, again, I don't know, but it's got to be a month, but that will be season 1, season 2. This is genuinely the last one.
That's fine, because you've got to have a little break between season 1 and 2, otherwise it's meaningless.
Yeah, I'm going to send Kerem away. I'm going to send Kerem away on holiday for a month, so you won't hear from him for a month. I'll send him on a little world tour. Maybe send him to Turkey you can have a nice relaxing. He's worked hard this.
What an exciting world tour for a Turkish person to go to Turkey.
Go back home.
Yeah. See all the sites. Turkey.
Yeah.
And
Don't
the
go
rest.
out. I can't afford that. I wouldn't. I'll tell you what. It's mental that when people say I'm going to go on a cruise, that's like saying to me, I'm going to go on holiday. Oh yeah, where are you going? I'm going to be on an airplane for 3 weeks, flying around the city. You go, no, that's not a holiday.
I think if it's one of those cruises that stops off in places, like one of those ones that go around the Med and they stop off in these places.
You'll jump off and buy some touristy things and then jump back on again. It's like a busman's holiday sort of. You just sort of will pile off and then pile back on again with some rubber ducks and things.
I like the idea of having a hotel room that moves. That's good. So you don't have to that's nice. But then the other people on the cruise are just
it didn't help that
people basically are people you would never want to hang out with. Yeah.
About a month ago, I was watching the Titanic things, people that had been on the Titanic. It was filmed in the 70s when they were in their 90s, and that probably didn't help them watching. Them also. Oh, I tell you what though, I was talking about this before about when you watch old things, like people that older people. I've seen a few of them popping up online where things that were filmed in the 70s of 70-year-olds talking about when they were growing up and people in World War II. Some of them, I mean, it must have been before. That was in black and white, and they were talking about being 12 on the Titanic when it went down. There's 4 or 5 people, and the thing was, and it's a bit of a conspiracy theory, but you go, well, it would sort of work knowing what we know now. And some of them were saying that it wasn't an iceberg. It said it was an explosion. And I was thinking, right, that's a conspiracy theory. I mean, it's just somebody saying something. But I thought it's feasible because they've got nothing to gain, these. But, it's filmed in the 50s, this thing. And it's only a couple of people saying that we didn't see it. I don't think it was. It sounded more like an explosion. And I thought, if you were a massive company that owned the Titanic, you would actually want it to be more of a, something hit us. You wouldn't want it to be something went wrong, there was an explosion caused by us. Do you know what I mean? That's feasible, that something could happen. Because it's not like you got footage. You've just got certain people saying we saw a big bang, and the captain and some people putting out the story saying we hit an iceberg. That's really all you've got. And some people there saying, no, we didn't hear it, it's just a loud bang. I thought that a big company back then especially would do something like that. If there was something that's their fault, they would pass it on as something that wasn't our fault. Like that's how.
Yeah. Okay. Companies lie, governments lie, but like there's no real evidence. People do kind of. People's memories are faulty.
Yeah.
And
but
people
then I was
embellish
thinking,
things,
where's
and
the proof that they did hit an iceberg? Like that's because there was a big hole in the bottom of the Titanic. Because I mean, that could have.
Well, all the people that saw it hit an iceberg, and all the crew.
But did they?
The people.
But I don't remember lots of people saying they did hit an iceberg. It is reported.
The crew did. I mean,
Yeah, but the crew again. This is what I mean. It wasn't like all of them were out on deck.
But
it was funny because my thing was I thought, well, hitting an iceberg would sound like an explosion, I suppose. Like if you,
it
if you
would.
did, but the funny thing is, you have to get your mind back to the time. They said when it was going down, some of the people that were lower down in the decks, like the workers that weren't allowed up, they said I rushed down and I was waking people up, like in his quarters, like the servants sort of thing. He said I rushed down, and he said I was saying to them, listen, get up. Like I was waking them up. And they wouldn't go up to the upper decks because of the class. They literally wouldn't go up to the upper decks, even though he said, look, get the fuck out. Because that sort of Victorian era thing of like this class structure was so strong, they were not allowed to just go wandering around the upper deck, and they wouldn't actually go up on the upper decks. Even though he's saying, look, get out. He said some of them wouldn't go up. He said, you can't go up there. You're not allowed. I thought, oh my God, like think of that.
I guess, it's that you don't want to lose your job or get a fine or whatever the thing is versus... the ship's unsinkable, would be fine.
Yeah, but I mean, there was that sort of...
Come on, think of the information we have now, and people are like, oh, I'm not putting my mask on.
Yeah.
But it was sad because, I mean, it was annoying because they did that thing of sort of like, when they take out, I mean, I don't want to say the romance of it, but when they talk about like the band playing, the guy was saying there was no band playing. I saw band members up there. Everyone was panicking. There was no band playing. He said I don't know where these things happened. He said I was on the top.
Guy with the cello is knocking people out of the way.
Yeah, he said there was no band playing. He said they did do the thing of it was women and children first. He said people seemed to hold to that for some reason. He said there was a lot of people trying to get in the boats that were just there was too many people. Boats were sinking. One guy said I was actually trying to get in the boat, and he said there was too many people, and the woman like saved him because she said, oh, that's my son, and he didn't know her, so they said, oh, Jesus Christ, okay, get in. Then you just listen. They said like somebody mentioned like get away from the boat because it's going down. Get away from it but we did, and all the other boats followed. And he said you just watched it go up, and then he said the noises, just the bending of that much steel, just bending and snap. He said the sound in that dead of sea. So it was quite calm. But yeah, it was funny just listening to the class stories of like them not wanting to go on. He said, you're not allowed on the upper decks. We're sinking. He said one bloke thought he was joking. He threw a shoe at him. He was trying to pull him out of the bed. But yeah, anyway, so I don't know why we was talking. Oh yeah, because I was talking about going out to sea. Yeah, so there's no way in hell. Because I can't control nothing. It's like being on a plane. I can't do nothing. If it's going down, I don't know what to do. At least if I'm in a car, I can do something. I can spring to the rescue. If the boat goes down, I'll have to push people out of the way. Say, right, get out of the bloody way. Let me sort this out. But yes, I wouldn't be. Would you go on a sea link or whatever you call it, a cruise?
Yeah,
you're in the middle of the sea.
It's not top of my list, but
it's like the helicopter thing. If it goes down, you're dead. There's no pulling over to the side. Why are you risking it? An airplane goes down, you're dead. Forget it. There's no rescue. There's no rescue. You're dead. Why would you put every bolt of that airplane you're risking your life on? Every bolt has to be in the right place. You have to make sure that somebody wasn't just broken up with his girlfriend and he's putting the last security check. Somebody wants to go home. We used to call when we used to deliver furniture. You'd get furniture delivered to some people, and it would just be like a part was missing, or they put the wrong leg on, and it would be like, oh, that's a Friday build. Like they just wanted to get home.
Yeah,
They just bunged it in. That somebody had some issue going on. They just bunged that in, and like that's what I think about with planes and boats and things. Like I'm relying on everyone. Relying on everyone has put the right bolts on the right place at this. So I'm trusting my life on 1,000 pieces of metal. We're all done at the right time in the right place. No chance. Because there's no pulling over to the side of the road. If this goes down, I don't trust people that much. People are bloody stupid. And somebody would have put something on the wrong bolt or the wrong way. And this will be one of those weird coincidences that happened, but we didn't realise that somebody had done the wrong thing on the wrong... No, I'm not risking it.
Well, also, everything is made to the cheapest specification.
Yeah.
I mean, it's made for the cheapest, but they can possibly get away
it's the
with
fact that there's no get-out plan. You're up in the plane. If it goes down, you're dead. And even if there is a get-out plan, forget the get-out plan. I'm not bobbing up and down in the sea like fish food. If that thing's going down, I'm going up to the deck, where the cabin is, and I'm saying, right, nosedive this thing and hit it, put the turbos
I like
on.
that. It's nice. Everyone else has to die because you don't want to.
No, I'm doing it for them
I
as
can't
well.
be bothered. I can't be bothered to wait in the sea for 7 hours for a rescue plane.
Yeah, being
For
eaten by
crashing,
fish.
just make sure everyone's dead.
To be honest, I hadn't thought about the other people.
Yeah.
I'm not lingering. Just make sure we're all just wiped out instantly.
No, if I was God, I would say, right, what's more decent for everyone to be bobbing up and down, freezing and drowning, or just slam into the water as far? We're all gonna die, and it's just slam it into the water.
If you were God, maybe you could get a rescue ship quickly.
Yeah,
I mean, there is. Yeah, you don't want to be eaten.
yeah,
because that's gonna be
I'm
painful,
thinking
and also
like you're
you're gonna
going
be
into the
pooped out.
North
It's not very
Sea, and it's
dignified.
2 a.m. No. In fact, didn't I tell you before there was a guy on the radio? I think I mentioned this before, and he had to deliver. They have to.
Sorry, I'm still just laughing at the idea of you being like going up to the cockpit. You know, the pilot's like, "We can land this thing. I've managed to glide it in," and you're just like, "No, kill us
I would
all."
physically move him out of the way.
Be like, get out of the way. We're smashing this.
Because I'm just thinking about bobbing up and down with C-Shark, going, why didn't I just push him out the bloody way? No, because I'm not, in that situation, I'm not listening. I don't care what you know. I know more. We're all dying, and we're all going to go together.
I think I can land it on the Hudson, and you're like, no, fuck it.
No, that's different. I'm talking about being in the middle of the North Sea with like 1,000 miles either side of us. Could you take it up to space? No, you couldn't, could you?
What?
No, I'll tell you
smash
why.
into the moon. You go, I can't be bothered with this.
No, because what I was thinking is, if you can just get to land, no, I didn't mean like go into space, like the Jetsons.
Oh, dear.
No, I was thinking, if you just wanted to get to land, I wouldn't do that. If you go, right, okay, just get me to land. I don't care if we smash into land, but what you'd have to do is go up so that the curvature of the Earth is shorter. So you're higher up, if you see what I mean.
No, you're a lunatic.
No, it works. That's what happens. You go up, and then the Earth is spinning faster.
You
so
can't.
you come
The plane
down.
can't. Those kind of planes can't go that high.
No.
Yeah, so I don't know what the limit is. What's
I mean,
fly
it
at,
It wouldn't
like
be. It wouldn't be
30,000?
that.
But when you fly across the Atlantic, you go up and then down a bit, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
there
you go
must
up-
be
You go up to
fuel.
Canada. From England, you go up and you pass, around Canada.
But there must be a limit, yeah. So, but I'm assuming they know this for saving money and fuel and things.
Yeah.
You go up
No, I
so
mean,
you
Charles, he means altitude.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'd say, right, if we go up high enough, can we at least get to land? But it's these, you have to think of the space. When you've got like 4 hours of flight either side of you and you're above water, I'm like, oh, I've done that when I'm going to America and I'm flying and I think I have to sleep in the middle bit because I can't look over the water thinking, right, we are 2 hours either way of water. That's it. If we go down, we're dead. So, no, but it would make sense to say, listen to it. Look, there's no point panicking. We're all going to die. Do you want to die quickly or do you want to drown or be eaten by sharks in freezing water for 6 hours? Right, let's just go. Why are we messing about? Why you're going to die? You don't want to. I'm not bobbing up and down in the middle of the North Sea, middle of the night.
But then it's like that film The Mist, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like
yeah, but no.
what happens if the soldiers come around the corner to save you? You just have to
Yeah, but that's
shot.
definitely. Yeah, but that's definitely
you
not
shot
going to
your
happen.
kids.
And I don't want to be pissed off because I'm now bobbing up with sharks floating around. I don't want to take that risk. I'm not playing roulette. I'd sooner just get it out of the way.
I'd rather not take the risk.
Well, so
take
here,
the risk.
all
of
right, I'll tell you what.
having the
There's
soldiers
the
turn up.
life jackets. Sod off. If you want to go now, there's the you can have my one. Off you go. But this plane's going down. But yeah, no. Again, you have to think about what that feels like, bumming up and down in the pitch black water, being frozen, and fins going around your legs. No chance. We're all going down, mate. You jump out the window. If the plane's going down anyway, No, but if you, but this is common sense. You're making it. If you want to be in the
it's
water,
just the imagery of like
kicking the
open up
cabin
window.
door. Yeah,
When it's like,
kicking the
it's
cabin
the
door.
size of your
Take
well, not the
face.
window. I didn't say literally the window. I meant the door. We're all trying to get out the window. No, open the door. But it's better for you to jump out than land this plane smashing because all the damage.
I think
is
it'd be
gonna
pretty
happen.
terrifying to be like flying through the air, die. You know.
Or, yeah, but if you're you're going to die because of the crushing all the metal in the plane. So it's best to jump out beforehand. So why not just jump out? If I'm going to smash this plane up, I'm not saying you have to come with me, but jump out because you're going to get crushed. If you're going to get going to the sea, you might as well jump in yourself, not jump in with your legs missing because the seats have crushed you. Jump out now, and because this plane's going down. I'm not bobbing them down the sea. No way. This plane's going down.
You're not
mate.
going to be able to if you've lost your legs in the.
Well, there you go. So I'm just saying, why die slowly? Either jump out because you want to be in the sea, or go down with me and we just nosedive this plane, stick all the engines on, and I'll put my face up against the front window and just smash into it, and that's it gone. You won't even know you've died. That's the better way. That's common sense. That's not funny. That's common sense.
Well, that was a cheerful.
I've thought about this. Honestly, God, I've thought about it when I was on the plane.
Yeah,
I
we
thought,
can
there's
fucking
no one
tell.
dying slowly.
Yeah, no, it's a detailed
It's
explanation.
best-
Common sense. You never survive an accident. Yeah.
Well, anytime I've been on the plane, I've always gone to the back of the plane because that's when you hit, you're more likely to die because of the force will throw you forward. So I just think if you're going down, I'm being at the back of the plane by the toilet. Everyone's laughing at you because you're the one that's got the cheap seat. I said, I don't care. I'll be at the back of the plane because when this goes down, I want my head to hit that bloody thing 10 feet away at 700 miles an hour. I don't want to know it's happening. I'm not trying to be in a brace position or any of that rubbish. Just kill me instantly. I even thought if I was in the sea, what would I do if I got stuck in the sea? So honestly, I'm on the plane. I have to put all these things into motion because I know people are stupid. So I'm planning, right, what happens if the plane goes? What happens if this happens? Where am I? And I thought if I'm in the sea, I'm not going to try and survive. I'm just going to bite my wrist, just bleed out immediately and just pass out and drown. I'm not bobbing up and down the sea. Forget it. I've seen them bloody films. Not happening. Just bite your wrist out, bleed out, you faint, and then you're dead. That's it. I'm not going to be eaten alive.
Please don't bite your wrists out at home. Yeah.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, some of our listeners, you might have to re-emphasise.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
but
we
that's
don't know
what-
who's
what
A few
listening.
would
of
you
them want
do?
to bite their wrists after listening to this.
Well, what
part
would
of the
you
show.
do if the plane's going down? Say, right, this plane's going down. You're going to go, oh, okay, we'll just bob up
Take
in
my
the sea.
chances.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Well, yeah, until you're in the sea, and then you go, oh, Theo died instantly, and now here we are, middle of the night, and there's fins floating around us. He's biting my calf off. No, it's the common sense. It's common sense. The common one I said is common sense. It sounds extreme, but it's common sense. Die quickly. Anyway, this
I'd
is
probably
season one.
I'd just John Wick my way through all the sharks, yeah, and just do some cool gun Carter, yeah.
John
like in the
Carter.
movies.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, okay, yeah. Mind you probably couldn't jump out at that speed, could you? Because the wind, you wouldn't get the door open. They can't open because of the pressure, can they?
I'm not even sure they have handles. I'm not sure you can open them from the inside.
No, but I mean, there must be. You can't just do it yourself. There must be something that gets switched and then a handle to fire the door off.
Because wasn't there like a case
But the
of
pressure
recently-
wouldn't allow you to.
Yeah, there was a case of a woman recently, and she got charged for this, and I think she's in prison. But she got drunk and she tried to open the door.
Oh yeah, you hear about this? Yeah.
And at like whatever 20,000 feet, halfway over halfway over France, something stupid, and like she was completely wasted. And like they said that she got charged for it, but they said that she couldn't have opened the door anyway because there wasn't
Because the
there
pressure
you
outside.
can't- Well, you
yeah.
can't do it anyway. I don't think that it allows you the
It's
door
technically.
mechanism
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Well, you couldn't. The pressure would be so different
That
inside.
too,
There's
yeah.
no way that door must weigh about 3,000 tons to try and get that to push open. Or do they open it? No, it's outwards, isn't it?
Is it, I don't know.
Yeah, it must be outwards. Yeah. But yeah, I wonder. Don't know what I was trying to get an airline pilot. Come on, honestly, I must have contacted personally about 25 different airline pilots. The only person we nearly had on was a Turkish guy from Turkish. That's the only one I can still chase up who got back to me. The other ones didn't want to know. I had to go through their press thing, and I think they were having a strike about a year or so ago. So none of them wanted to do it. And I thought, oh, come on, grow up. Oh, with my press agent. Who are you? Back like a bloody adult.
Well, you're not allowed to. I mean, like,
I'm
some
not into all
feds-
that. Not allowed to.
some
You're a
professions-
human
some-
being. You're a human being.
well, you'll get fired and just
That's fine. You're not
barred
telling me
and
what to
lose your
do.
license. So
Listen, I never bother about laws and people telling me how the job's to be done. It's being done in a sensible way. Sack me then. I'm not acting like a bloody idiot. But yeah, I said I wouldn't like to talk about the strike or anything like that. But the Turkish guy was the only one that said he would come on. what was I going to say? But yeah, I wonder. I don't know what their laws are in terms of, because this is what I want to speak to them about. Is it now? Are they doing that thing of like one security person being on the plane that you don't know, or is that just an American thing at the time?
Marshal.
Yeah, it was just at the time of.
Yeah, but I think air marshals predated September 11th.
But I mean, now is it like you would always have if somebody pulled out a gun? Is there somebody on there?
I
don't think there is there? Because it's one way. That's a wasted seat every single journalist.
I doubt it's on the budget flight to like Iron Apple.
Oh right, yeah.
I don't know if there'd be security people.
But then I don't know what it's like. If somebody decided I want to get out of this plane now, and they started flipping out, there's no real security. I was wondering, do they have a taser or something? Somebody
it's the air hostesses, unfortunately.
But that's not security. You can't do
no, they're not. No, but it's like they're in charge basically.
But that's what I mean.
According to this source, gotravelyourway.com. From February last year. No, in the United States, less than 1% of flights have an air marshal.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's
going
to be money.
44,000 commercial flights operating every day across the US, it's impossible.
44,000 a day? What?
Yeah, across the US,
right,
yeah.
Jeez, that sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I suppose if you're going to like Dubai on some posh plane, then they probably would pay for the extra sort of.
Yeah, that kind of one. I think. Yeah, probably where it's high, target. So maybe any flights going in and out of Washington.
Yeah,
still quite a lot.
Or Jerusalem or somewhere. You know what I mean? Like maybe Air Israel or whatever. Might have security, but yeah.
Let's go. How did we get onto this topic? Oh, yeah. So you'd be quite happy to go on the sea, or you'd be happy with that, sleeping, knowing that they're sort of bobbing up and down in the sea.
I'm okay with getting a flight. Yeah, like I had a bad experience on a flight as well. I'm still
did you?
With it, so, yeah.
What was it? Just a turbulent sort of thing?
No, just I don't really want to get into it.
An argument sort of thing.
No, well,
did you shit yourself on a plane, Charles?
They ran out of cheese and
it went into cheese.
It's a very long story, but a friend was very, very ill on it, and he was so ill, in fact, that. We were flying back from Marrakesh to London, and the pilot came out and I had to have a chat with him, and like he was just like, "We're going to land in Marseille and get your friend to a hospital," and I was just like, "No," because I was just like, "Oh God, what the hell am I going to do in Marseille?" I just wanted him to get to London so we could get him to a hospital there, and. I really had to plead with the pilot to just get us to London. You know what I mean? And eventually he was like, "Okay, cool." But it was touch and go because we don't know what the hell we'd have done.
Was he all right? Was he?
He is now.
Oh, okay.
He was very seriously ill for a very long time. But bless him, he's very well now. He's just. His wife's just had their second child, so they're yeah. So it's a happy ending. Yeah.
Talking of health, I was listening to a show the other day. They were saying about how they were talking about the privatization in America, like the national health or their what they call it, private health system, and they reckon they're going to try and start sneaking it in here. They're not going to try and do away with the NHS. They're going to try and big business is going to try and slowly edge its way in, and that they said you forget about like not having like private healthcare in America, what that costs. It's tied to your job, so people have to stay in the job because of the healthcare. Like it's not a little thing.
No.
And they gave a number for how many people go bankrupt because of healthcare costs. And I thought, how many, to lose everything. And I was thinking like a couple of thousand people. It was 250,000 every year. 250,000.
It's the biggest. I think it's the biggest bankrupter of people.
Yeah, it's something like 60% or something of all bankruptcies. I think it's over 50 of all bankruptcies.
Because you can't afford the bloody thing. They said there was a woman on the radio. She was saying how she saw. I think she was in New York. She's a British woman. She was working out there, and she saw there was a homeless guy. She said he looked sick, and then he just keeled over on the road. And she was like, she ran into work and said like, "Oh, the bloke has just fallen, like he's out, he's on the feet. People just walking past him." And they said, "You can't call because you'll be liable. Like you can't say, oh, there's a guy here,' because the money's going to get involved. That if they come out at all, what they're going to want to know who you are, why they were called, because he's not going to have any money. Somebody's going to be responsible for the cost of that ambulance." And I was thinking, oh my God, like you can't. There was a woman who she had full insurance through work while she was out there. She broke her wrist or ankle. I think it was a wrist. And the insurance company, she had full, I think it's called Platinum Insurance. She had the full, instead of her getting the money to be fixed there, they were charged like a couple of grand just to bandage the thing up. But then instead of fixing her, they figured out that it was cheaper to put her on a plane back to London, pay for the flight where she would get the healthcare fixed there for free. Like, so instead of fixing it, they just bandaged her up, charged her for that, or charged the company for that couple of grand, but then they put her on the bloody plane with it just not fixed and paid for the flight to get back to England. And you go, that's what privatisation does. That's what private money, all this choice and all that. They'll do anything. I think about you having a broken arm and say, well, you can get it done in England, so all we're going to do is legally, we're going to pay for you to get on the flight. You think, what the... And that's with a platinum cover.
It's so alien in this country.
Horrendous.
It really is. It's when we hear these stories of, in America, it's so completely alien. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Because we are so lucky. I mean, even though the service is far from perfect, you know what I mean, and people work very hard, and it needs more funding, and they're not supported, blah blah. But yeah, it seems like a nightmare, like the really privatized systems.
Just in terms of mental health, to know that if something goes wrong, you've got that in the back of your head. Do not call the ambulance. Like they say, that the amount of people would be off the scale who don't call medical services because they can't afford, or they're going to get charged for something. And the one guy I phoned who lived there, he said, the worst thing is, he said, there's no sort of sense of what something costs. He said, you could go one place and it'd be 500, and you could go to somewhere else and it'd be 9,000. Like, because of the states, it doesn't matter. They just making the numbers up because it's all privatized. You don't know where you are, who's charging what. They can also send in doctors that doctor might be charging 10 times the amount of a different doctor because he's been around longer, and you don't know that. They don't come in and give you a cost. They fix you, and then you just get a bill lumped on you. And it could be one thing, or it could be another 3 or 4 noughts on the end.
Because it's all just added to the insurance. I mean, no one, it doesn't. This is why prices get inflated so much, is because literally they're just sort of writing it off. Oh, the insurance pay for it, so we can charge a paracetamol for £100 or $200 or whatever. Because it doesn't matter. It's just a number on a spreadsheet, and the insurance company will pay it, and it's all a little.
He had a bronze package with work, but they were taking out £500 a month. And that was the bronze. He said that the platinum was $7,000 a month, like the posh, like cover everything. So, but that doesn't mean everything's covered. That means, well, that there was something like the woman. What was it he was talking about? The woman had a baby there, and because of complications, they ended up getting a bill for $30,000 for giving birth. That was it, because there was a few complications along the way, and when the birth happened, £30,000 that was going to cost. 30 grand. Like $30,000, 20 grand or whatever it is. But it was like, because they were talking about the like what a big con it is, and the fact they're trying to get it over here. And they said it's funny because they've actually convinced people to vote against it, like to have free health. Like they said they've managed to get the turkeys to vote for Christmas. Like they've literally, that's how powerful media is. That they've convinced you that you don't need
communism
healthcare.
If you
socialism.
To socialism.
They said it all sounds great, old choice and all that, until the bill comes through that's just been made up, and you go, "Hang on, what's this? Isn't that's what you signed up for." In sort of like what they've done in Texas with the cold snap that they've had there, where they were the only one that said, "No, we don't want to be on the national service sort of thing. We want to regulate ourselves. We're Texas, independent." And then look what happens. As soon as there's a problem, it goes from, what do they say? It's like a $3 per whatever, and it goes up to sort of $90. And people are getting bills for £10,000 for like a month's worth of heat. And they go, yeah, tough. What was that? Do you see what this quote that Texan Mayor put in? Do you see that?
Oh, it was.
Oh my God.
Oh,
it was like, if your heating's off, tough, fix it. Like, we're not here to look after you. Like, literally,
government's not here to help you.
Yes, we're not here to
pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah, and you go, oh, that's privatised. There you go. All that. Oh, we Texan, we look after ourselves. We do it. As soon as there's a problem, they ratchet up all the prices because there's no rules anymore. And if you get started, if you freeze, tough. Sort your own life out. Yeah, that's what privatisation.
You die, it's your fault. Better luck next time.
But to say it, to actually go out and say we're not pissing about, like, because he was getting annoyed that he's getting contacted. No, sort your life out. Oh, well, there you go. So it's not all us together, like Texans and all that. That's rich people. What you vote, all that us together stuff. Look after yourself. That's us, not the poor people. But when I read the tweet, I was like, oh my God. He's just basically literally saying, sod you, sort yourself out. It's nothing to do with us.
Do you see Ted Cruz? Yeah.
Hey, this is really nice here, isn't it? It's really nice in this convention center. Not as nice as Cancun now.
Oh yeah,
deathly silence. It was.
What did he try and make a joke of it?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said, "Oh, this is really nice being at the conservative conference.
CPAC,
really good, really good. CPAC, yeah, but not as nice as Cancun."
And then there's
Waka Waka.
Yeah,
deathly
nothing.
silence. So there was a huh.
Do you know what I like though? I like the actual cowardice that on media he'll go, well, it was this. I mean, he blamed his kids. I've been a good father. But then to go to CPAC and just go, forget all that. It was it's not as good as Cancun. You go, you are such a pathetic. Like, over here I'll say one thing, and now
He's
when you're
worm, isn't he?
But again, let's just always, whenever you talk about Ted Cruz, let's always mention that he was against Trump. He called him names. Trump attacked his dad, called his wife ugly, and then he ended up being on the phones for Trump, trying to raise money for him.
Yeah.
That's Ted Cruz.
He spread the rumor that Ted Cruz was the Zodiac killer.
Really? That's amazing.
That is the thing. Ted Cruz was about 3 years old when the Zodiac killer was stalking the streets, and yet it's still like a big thing that Ted Cruz was the Zodiac killer.
Think of the level you have to go to. Somebody slagging your wife off to then going to work for him. That's so in the gutter. That's so weird.
It's Reek. He is Reek. He is in Game of Thrones. He's absolutely the most craven.
I'd like to know what like your wife says about that. Like, what do your kids say? Like, there's so much. So you go, what are you? You know what she said about your mum? Like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, what? How do you?
I don't know how. I watched a bit of that CPAC thing. I couldn't watch Trump. I couldn't bring it. Normally I love watching him because I just go, whoa, he's just normally it just drives me mad, and I like that, but I just couldn't. Now he's no longer in charge. Now he no longer has any power. It's just like, I don't give a shit what he has to say anymore.
Well, everything with him,
weird ramblings.
It's the same
victim complex. Everyone's so mean to me. But what was really, I watched Ted Cruz bit, and I watched Don Jr. I did watch the Don Jr. bit. And what I just thought, these people really don't care what they know what they're saying is lies and rubbish, and they just don't care. You know what I mean? They're just saying this because people want to hear it, and it just justifies the people they're saying, their supporters thinking. And they know it's all rubbish. Everyone knows it's rubbish, but they're just all kind of implicit in this big lie, Well,
the dangerous thing with them is that they're only now talking to the base, and the base like the hate, they like the violence. So they're not even thinking, but are they worried about? No, they're not talking about anybody else. They're just talking to their base now. They don't care, and their base like the violence. There seems to be no limit. It almost seems like the more meat we throw them, the more they love it. So there's no rules. Let's just keep being nasty. Let's keep being horrible. Let's keep throwing the things. In fact, Trump's supposed to be speaking again? They said he was supposed to decide if he's going to run like as the Republican thing, because they've all sort of dropped out now, like for the putting forward for the Republican candidate, aren't they? And he's supposed to be the only
primaries. I don't think that they have to announce for the primaries for a very long time. I think it's going to be a couple of years.
Oh, something was happening then where
he's ruled out starting his own party.
Yeah,
because he said that would split the Republican, but he would
say,
there was something which is correct.
He acknowledged that would be a bad thing. Yeah.
But there was something happening this week or this weekend where they were calling it the real presidential.
Trump's meant to be president again now.
Yeah, it's like the real inauguration day.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, this is the QAnon thing. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, QAnon 4th of March, which is today, folks.
Oh, right, there you go. Yeah.
Was supposed to be a big day for the QAnon guys.
QAnon, just slope off, won't they? When it
yeah. Because they basically misinterpret a law made in Oregon in 1871. I looked into this. It's the idea. It's this. It's the sovereign citizen movement, who are just batshit crazy. And they say that basically any law made after 1871 is illegal. Right? Because that's when America stopped being a country and became a corporation. Bizarre. Yeah. So every law and every amendment after that is illegitimate. So the inauguration used to be on the 4th of March. And it was changed, I think, in 1930 to be January the 20th. So all these QAnon people were like, well, obviously, 4th of March, Trump will reveal himself to have been president all along, and actually they'll have the real inauguration of him. And that was why he suddenly revealed himself to be the real president all along. He'd actually won the election somehow, for some reason.
But the most laughable thing is how they'll die for certain laws, and then other laws, they'll just go, no. This law that was in 1860, but what about the laws about this, that? No, we don't follow those laws. But laws from the 1800s, we'll follow that one to the letter. That's America there. You go, but you can't pick and choose what laws you choose to follow. Make your mind up. Do you what laws are you abiding by here?
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia bit where he goes, the government of today can't tell us how to live our lives because the government of 200 years ago already did that for us.
Apparently, and the new thing now for QAnon is that actually it's not going to be March the 4th, it's going to be March the 20th.
Yeah.
Biden is just acting as president as a ruse while the Pope and others are rounded up.
Yes. Well, any day they're going to all be arrested.
It's that end of those people who say the end of the world and then it doesn't come and they go, actually, it's going to be next year instead.
Well, one of them
it's like Rorschach. It's like Rorschach in Watchmen. Yeah, I don't know if they did that in the film, but like Rorschach in Watchmen walks around with the end is nigh, and he's like, and the guy who runs the newspaper stand on the corner goes, how's the end of the world coming along? He goes, any day now. He goes, I'm pretty certain next week, next Tuesday, definitely. And he's like, okay, cool. See you tomorrow then.
That's what I never understood about conspiracy, or these people that were like these gurus are like. I said, don't put your date that soon. Put it way off. Don't have it where it's coming up unless
put in 1,000 years.
Yeah, but if you're genuinely, I suppose, if you genuinely are a nutter, you go, you've convinced yourself in 2020 something's going to happen. You go, just say 2090. Why put a date on
I think you have to do it now because then people are more likely to panic and give you all their money.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and it justifies more extreme things, like like a lot of these QAnon and far right people will always talk up, like a lot of far right and far left people will talk up a crisis. There's an imminent crisis. There's a civil war. There's the apocalypse about to happen. There's a war with China. There's all these awful things about to. Entire civilization is on the cusp of destruction because then it justifies their extreme policy positions. You know what I mean? And it justifies a potential revolution and a great change.
It's they were calling him the people's president. I thought, oh my god, that's like so naff. But the thing is, like
there you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Trump is naff.
They have the Republic, because they have to decide who was going. Where is it? They've got to decide something. I don't know who is the midterm or something. They've got to decide.
They're Georgia elections, aren't there?
No, because the thing that they're saying Trump is going to run again. Like he's got to say if he's going to do it, he's going to be the nominee for something.
I wouldn't have thought this soon.
I thought the primaries
because they're talking about people now, and there
are elections in Georgia.
And there
can't be that then.
And they're on midterms. There's midterms, I think, coming up. Yeah. So in a year or two next.
Yeah. So they're putting people forward to who will be the prospective runners. So, but some of them are dropped out, and it's like, well, nobody's going to run against Trump, so he is going to be. He just has to say, yes, I'm the person.
I suppose at the RNC, you'll have a lot of people making their, saying, I want to be.
But nobody wants to run against him. That's the problem. Nobody wants to run against him because they're instantly going to get attacked, and they know they're going to lose anyway. So why even run against him? So he's sort of got a wide open goal.
That's the awful thing with CPAC is I just thought, oh God, he's not gone away.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He lost the House, and he sported he put loads of people on the Supreme Court who aren't doing what conservatives want. So that kind of backfired.
Yeah.
He kind of screwed up all three. He lost kind of effectively all three branches of government, and he's still not going away. He's still.
Yeah, but the problem is because nobody wants to take his place. Like all the people behind him say, "I don't want no part of running against him." So you go, "Well,
but, it doesn't. All of that doesn't matter." He got the highest vote of any sitting president ever.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So like, you sort of think the only thing that saves it is like he's got to be made a criminal. He has to get a criminal thing against him. That's the only thing that's saving.
I don't know would that stop him?
Yeah, it has to. I don't think he could be a criminal and run for office.
I mean, certainly, obviously, if he's in jail.
Well, yeah, but no. I think if you've got a criminal record, you can't run for office.
Yeah, maybe.
But
maybe he can't run for president. No.
It's either everything's going to get thrown at him, or nothing will get thrown. And you can't. If he gets away, oh my god, there's no laws. Then that's it. It's done. They can do what they want.
I was also thinking with CPAC, I thought it's either going to be Trump or Don Jr.
Yeah, that's the only one. If somebody,
and I was thinking, and I was fingers crossed Don Jr. because even the CPAC people didn't seem to like Don Jr. They were just like, again, it was death. He was coming out with all the lines and he was doing all the bits, fake news, coming out all the quotes and all the zingers that his dad did, and just deathly silence. You know,
I see the thing where they were speaking to the guy who wore the bull horns. Who was it with all the thing on him?
The QAnon shaman.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and they arrested him, and they were saying like, "What are you?" He was disappointed with Trump because the whole thing of let's march and I'll be there with you, and then he just went whoop. Yeah. That's me done. I'm off. Yeah. You carry on, boys. I'll be watching.
Got my photo op. Yeah, got my photo op. Yeah.
Oh god, there was talking about James O'Brien, his autobiography thing. And there was a thing about one of the guys that phoned up, and it was a while ago. So I think it was during Trump, but it wasn't the main point of the phone call. And he was saying there was a school, and he was complaining about the Muslims and they're changing the laws of our school, and I don't want my kid going to this school and that. And he was saying he was talking, and he said, yeah, they're putting prayer rooms in a school, and I'm not having it, and you shouldn't be doing it over here. And he was going, oh, what school is it? Well, it don't matter what school it is. He said, well, I'm just interested. What school was it? And I was thinking when he's talking, I thought, I bet he's going to call them. So as he's talking, because he's just going along with it. He's not questioning him like he usually does. He's, and what this and why? But why? Tell me more about it. And he goes, you say his name's John. And okay, so that's the school. Okay, blah, and they've got a prayer room. Yeah, prayer room. Okay, that's interesting. And he goes, John. He said, we've got the headmaster on the line from that school. Do you want to talk to them? Do you want to talk to them at school? Well, I'm not talking to them. Yeah, but no, we've got them here. Do you want to just hold on for a second? I'll just put them on. Boo, puts the phone down. He goes, so they go away and he comes back from the news and he said, just what that guy was saying. We spoke to the headmaster. They don't have a prayer room and they've never had a prayer room. So,
and they didn't know what the hell he was talking about either. I think they were like, what?
He went on about it for about 10 minutes and to get the name of the school, it didn't even exist. Oh God, just.
Well, I remember there was a thing in the Mail a while ago. And there was a big scandal. They tried to make a big scandal about Muslim-only toilets in like Bradford and a couple of other cities. And it was complete rubbish. And no one even knew where the idea had come from. Like, people were trying to boycott Bradford Council. And they were like, we have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Like, what? We're closing the toilet. But there are no public toilets because we closed them all because of budget cuts. You know what I mean? We're definitely not opening Muslim-only ones. Like, what? And how would that work? What?
Just that's the thing is there's no reality. You don't know what's reality. Well, the Russians have done their job with the old Russians and the Facebook. They've tag teamed the Western world.
Talking about Russian fake news. Everyone going to watch the Harry and Meghan Markle interview coming up?
I thought that had happened. Has that not happened already?
It's happened, but it hasn't been released yet. I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh, they were talking about that on that show actually, the James O'Brien show, where somebody did the article where they read out did you see the Meghan Markle quotes that were made in the newspaper and the things that were said about what's the other one before
Andrew,
her?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Prince Andrew.
No, the woman, the other brother.
Oh, Diana.
Wife. No, the wife of the other brother, two brothers' wives.
Kate.
Meghan. Yeah, and
I need more information than the other one.
Well, you can see my hands moving up and down. Don't you?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's
and
that means like, brothers. Yeah, when you move the hands like that, brothers.
He said, somebody put it was one of these online things, and the journalist had actually put up online the same newspaper that had this journalist had gone through the newspaper that had said things about what was her name, Kate.
Yes.
And Meghan.
Yes.
And there was a few, he said, I couldn't believe what I was reading because there was things to do with the wedding and planning the wedding and what they'd said about Meghan and what they'd said about Kate. And one of them was Kate had chosen these specific flowers for the wedding that Meghan had also chosen. So they'd gone back and read what they wrote about Kate had chosen these wonderful orchids that it signifies virginity and blah, 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 blah. And then they did the Meghan one, who chose the same flowers, and the same newspaper was slagging off, she said, because these flowers are actually, they could be poisonous to one of the bridesmaids at the thing. And they went through all these articles that were literally, she did exactly the same thing, same colour, same thing, and then they repeated, like they'd seen what they'd written, the same newspaper about Meghan, who'd done the same thing, and it was just like nastiness. Mm-hmm. And they just went I think there was like 30 where it's the same newspaper, where the same thing, same flowers, same colour, there was a reason why Kate couldn't be somewhere, and a reason why Meghan couldn't be somewhere, and it was the same incident where she couldn't fit, and one was like, because she's got a thing and she's got to be somewhere. One of them was about when they were both advised to be eating avocado. And then they read the avocado one with Kate. She's chosen to, a mother, the health, and to make sure she's taken to. She doesn't like avocados, but she's chosen to eat these things. And then it went to the Meghan one, avocados, and something about the farming of avocado
or something.
Yeah, it was something about the farming of what
sick
avocados.
Liberals, yeah, ramming it down our throats.
Because water, they're very water intensive.
Yeah, it was just like, oh god, like, and they went on and on about these articles. I think,
it's not surprising, I'm afraid.
Full on. And it is funny because when you see articles, anything to do with Meghan, it's nastiness. She's causing problems. She's doing this. And it's all contrived. It's all like nasty. And then they get into the whole. It's partly race and partly because she's not English and partly this and that. And somebody read an article. Somebody put she's not from a certain class because she's had to buy her own furniture, and you're not really from a certain class unless you've been given it, like inherited it. You've actually gone and bought. If
you bought your own home,
you're sort of like,
then you're middle class. Oh my God!
If you've had a job, if you've had a job, like that, there's what you've been paid to do a job. But just when you read the article, you go, oh my God! And it was just basically somebody wrote and he said, look, it's just she hasn't clicked in and bowed her head. She's come in and said, no, I'm as valuable as anybody else here. And to them, that's an act of aggression. So let's just turn against her. And the colour thing helps. It's just easy, it helps.
Yeah. I mean, look, I despise them. I despise the lot of them. I will be watching that. I think it's on Monday on ITV, and I will definitely be watching.
It's actually on terrestrial TV, is it?
Yeah. I think it's been shown in America Sunday.
It's an Oprah Winfrey thing, yeah.
Yes, it's Oprah Winfrey doing it. I think they're great because they're just like, it's starting to get desperate for them. I know that they are making money and they're making more money than I've ever will in my life, but like
who's this? Sorry, Harry and Meghan.
Harry and Meghan, yeah, because they kind of did all this. They kind of left the Beatles at the wrong time, like, because we're going to strike off and do our own thing, John and Yoko, and then all of a sudden pandemic hit, and then this happened, and then all these other things happened, and they're like, hey, we're still relevant, we're on social media, and no one cares. No one cares.
I'm glad they're sticking it to them. I didn't like the rules at all. At least like Harry, because at least he's gone, do you know what, I'm not gonna live like a bloody slave since you made me march behind my mother's bloody coffin for your PR move. I'm glad he's gone, no, do you know what, sod you lot, I'm not putting up with this. This is my wife, and you might not like her, tough shit, this is my marriage, and you're not gonna accept it. Because the whole thing was, look, when somebody was saying, when all this slagging off since day one, attacking her for that reason, and he said, I think he might have been quoting her or him, Harry, and they said the problem was none of them came to our rescue. Like, none of the royals have gone, don't be saying that. Like, they just, slag her off, have a pop at her, don't worry about it, just carry on doing it. And none of them have gone, no, don't say that about her. Like, she's one of the royals, no, she's one of the family. None, just silence, radio silence, while the media just completely attacked her from every angle. So imagine doing like your whole all that royal thing that you've joined, all this thing that you've joined, and they go just letting the press say and do what they want, and you're just sat there silent, which is part of cooperating with the media, is being silent. That means you're for it.
Andrew got a better rap in the press than she did.
We should say this is Prince Andrew, not me.
Yeah.
Can we make sure we say
Prince
all right,
Prince Andrew, all right, yes.
Particularly with what he's alleged to have done.
Oh, right,
So just like half
not
this
somebody
way,
just
like,
listen,
and
yeah.
Andrew fucked a load of kids on 19th Island.
Yeah, we had this podcast. This guy.
I should say, sorry.
Allegedly.
Allegedly fucked a load of kids on.
Don't really say it. Oh, God.
I don't know what. Yeah, well,
sorry. That sounds very flippant for what are obviously very, if true, very heinous. I mean, clearly, people were having sex with children essentially and raping, even the people they were having sex with that were over the age of consent.
What's happened with all that? Has it just gone?
Nothing.
Well, because Epstein accidentally slipped and broke his neck in a cell.
Yeah.
Well, Epstein's clone was murdered, and then they got the real Epstein out. And now he's living on the orbital space station.
Yeah, the moon.
But what about the whole
moon,
Giselle thing? That was popping up. What's happened to her?
She's been denied. Basically, she's going to die in prison as well.
But what about the court case? What's the?
I'm not sure what's happening. There's been all sorts of fighting against it. I think she wanted discipline. I think at one point they claimed she had COVID and she needed to be let out, and the judge
pushing it away.
No. No, she'll slip in the showers and that'll be it.
There was something recently. She said that there was
sorry.
lots of that supposedly Epstein had all these DVDs, lots of video footage of everyone.
I'm sure
there must
he did.
be somewhere.
There was, and that disappeared. And apparently the FBI had boxes and boxes of all this evidence, and somehow it all got destroyed.
Yeah, that's not like. On the one hand, I think we've kind of said this before, and I think we're sort of all of the same mind. Of like, on the one hand, we can all totally agree and accept that there is probably, because the world is so heinous and these things have been going on since forever, there probably are, like, in certain things, because of, as there have been at the BBC, you saw all these top presenters were all paedophiles and molesting children. You know what I mean? So
in a way, that's fairly low level. When you're talking about billionaires and people that own countries, totally, there are no rules. So
the thing with QAnon, I'm like, it's really weird that everyone who's a paedophile in this thing just happens to be a vocally, outspoken critic of Trump and whatnot, and anti-Putin and all this kind of thing. So that's actually hurting the cause, because you're taking away the credibility by saying, oh yeah, Pizzagate, and they're all worshipping Satan. It's like, well, there's no basement in that thing, so start again. You know what I mean? You're just muddying the waters.
Yeah.
But no, these people at these high level people are, they're not going to suddenly, if it turns out it's president this or prime minister whoever or whatever, that's not going to happen. They'll just cover it up. She will not be able to say anything. At the very best that will happen is that she will plead immunity, and they'll get a couple of patsies, a couple of guys who've lost their money, who haven't paid their taxes or whatever, who haven't contributed enough money to a party. They'll get got. And that'll be it. And then she'll either, she'll be in hiding for the rest of, she'll be in witness protection, or she'll slip and die.
They're like massive stories, and you go, hang on, well, what happened to that big story where?
Well, it's COVID, isn't it?
More stuff to deal with.
There's no follow up, is there? That's the thing. Yeah.
There's not. She's not naming names.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like I say, it'll be someone who's disgraced already. It'll be
Weinstein or someone like that. You know what I mean? Someone who's already in prison, or someone who's
dead, or somebody who's already in prison. Yeah, sorry, Weinstein isn't dead. I was mixing my steens. But it'll be someone who's dead, or someone who's disgraced already. It'll be that. It'll be someone who doesn't have a big, powerful family that's going to sue you for saying it. It's just going to be that. It'll be
low level enough to know they better keep their mouth shut, otherwise.
Like I say, it'll be somebody who stopped donating. I don't want to name names as an example, because I don't want to say that they're a paedophile, but you know what I mean? It'd be someone who, like, they've fallen from grace. It'll be that. That's all it'll be. It's not going to be fucking, pardon my French, it's not going to be, because all these allegations against Ted Heath, for example, that turned out to be made up by a fantasist who also turned out to be a paedophile. But it's not going to be that. It's not going to be, it turned out that Margaret Thatcher was the head of a satanic paedophile. That's not happening. It'll be, I can't think, who's someone that, Charles, about laws, like, who can we make up? It's not going to be fucking, it's not going to be, I don't know.
He's very angry about this, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but it's a disgraceful crime, isn't it?
No,
it's not going to be the people that it should be.
There's always a scapegoat.
It'll be some patsy. It'll be some...
And she'll get a good deal. She'll get a good deal.
Yeah.
She'll get
or she'll slip in the showers and die.
Yeah. But they'll probably give her a good deal, like a couple of years.
Law will not be served on this certain case. Laws don't apply to a certain level. When you get to a certain level, laws don't apply anymore.
Yeah, when it's like, say if it is all these billionaires that they claim it is, they're too powerful. Yeah, they donate too much money. They have too much thing.
Right, so let's derail, because we'll end the show. We were talking
director's cuts before the...
I was just about to say, So you watched the director's cut of I was asking, are director's cut worth it? Like, are you going to watch anything different? Only because the only one I would watch is apparently because of this Godfather thing. That seems to be actually.
Yeah,
like
I still mean to watch Godfather 3, or it's got a slightly different name, isn't it? The Godfather Coda, the Death of Michael Corleone.
But can it just fix that? That film is. I don't think it. I think that film is average to bad, and I don't think that even the best within the world can fix it.
I'd lean slightly over the other side of average. I'd say it's average. I think it suffers by being. I think if it was just like, I don't know, gangster film, whatever. I think people would be fine and they would be much kinder to it.
It's the Alien 3. It's the Alien 3.
Yes, yes, that's a very good analogy. Because Alien 3 is quite good.
It's alright. It's not a bad film.
It's the third. At that point, it was the third best Alien film.
Yeah, in comparison,
probably still the third best Alien film now. Yeah, thinking about it.
For our second season show, we were going to report on what the Godfather trilogy thing is, the Codex or whatever. We're going to make sure that's something to hang around for. We will tell you what it's about. We will watch it. I'll make sure.
In terms of whether director's cut, obviously there's been a lot of tinkering. There's 5 versions released of Blade Runner, I believe. I've got the box set somewhere. So they each have something different. You've got the theatrical cut, which has the narration, which I actually don't mind because
it's very lazy, isn't it? He really does sound like he doesn't give a damn.
Yeah, I think the weird thing is, I think because everyone said, "Oh, you can hear how lazy he sounds," I don't really notice it as much. So the difference, this is a crash course in Blade Runner. So Blade Runner was obviously there was whatever the director's cut, whatever he would, as in any film, the director submits his cut to the studio. They usually get first cut, and then it will depend on the deal and whatnot. But certainly for a big film, they're not going to get. It's unlikely they'll get final cut. Studio unhappy with it. They wanted a happier ending, so you get some exterior shots from The Shining when the car's driving through. They reuse that. They decide that Rachel
and something from Legend as well. I think the unicorn.
The unicorn is from Legend, and they also tack on this happy ending that Rachel is going to live, and she's a special upgrade android that we've never mentioned up until this
turns out she lived. Yes, turns out she could live very long.
So that was the version for the longest time. Then there was a director's cut, which changed that ending. It was more ambiguous. It ends with, for people who've seen Blade Runner, it ends with I keep wanting to say what is his name? Deckard, sorry, thank you. He finds the origami left behind by I've forgotten his name now. Edward James Olmos's character.
Yeah, what's his name? It's not Gangs. It's something else, isn't it?
But yeah, his character, who's also a Blade Runner, who basically implies he knows Rachel is a replicant. Yeah. Also heavily implies that Deckard is a replicant, and it ends with them on the run. Essentially, they get into
the door's closed. I think the lift door's closed.
I haven't seen any of it. What is a Blade Runner? A robot?
So, it's the film Blade Runner is adapted from the novel To Android's Dream of Electric Sheep. Yeah. The title is taken from a totally unrelated steampunk novel that someone just found cool.
Yeah. Oh, it was. Yeah. Okay, right.
Yeah, so it's good. It's a weird book. It's cool.
Yeah, it's very. It's
So what's a Blade Runner?
So it's someone who hunts down rogue replicants. Replicants are kind of. They're sort of like clones, but hyper powered and all that kind of. They're not cloned from people. They're genetically engineered, aren't they?
Kind of. They're like robot. Fake.
Well, it's weird. They say robots, but then they bleed and they have, they're human and they have life. It's
and they can't
hybrid.
be detected. They are indistinguishable from human beings.
Why are they called Blade Runners?
No, it's not explained in the name because that's what I mean. The name of it is taken from a steampunk book that someone went, "Oh, that's a cool name." And that's what it's not related to. It's not by Philip K. Dick, and it's not anything.
Well, I'm not into director's cut, but I'm going to push the boat out and take a risk, and hopefully the universe won't disappoint me. I'm going to watch the Godfather one. I've heard enough about it. If that disappoints me, I will never watch the director's cut of anything ever again. I'm pushing all my chips in.
I would recommend the director's cut. We were saying before, I watched the director's cut, or the final cut, I should say, of Apocalypse Now, which includes some of the extra material from Apocalypse Now Redux, but trims off
Does it change the story, or is it just added scenes?
It's added scenes. So there's an even longer cut. There's like a 4-hour version, 4-hour plus version that's bootlegged that I've never seen. It's I think that was the one presented at Cannes originally.
Yeah, there's legendary long cuts, aren't there?
Yeah, I mean there are plenty of films. There are bootleg versions. But I would say this is probably out of the 3 different versions I've seen of Apocalypse Now, it's probably the best one.
Because I love the original. The theatrical version is the version I've seen the most. And like Redux, I remember seeing Redux, and I was like, ugh, it's just like these. It's like another 45 minutes, and it really doesn't add anything. It just kills the pace. There's several sequences where it just stops the film dead, and I'm like, okay, I can see why these parts weren't in here, why they were initially edited, because it adds nothing to the film.
When you hear a theatrical cut, is that just another cut, or does it denote something specific to do with theatres?
Theatrical, yeah, that basically just means the version that was released originally.
Yeah, in the cinema, that's the version.
Yeah. I think they just prefer
it. But it doesn't mean
it just
it's
sounds
more
fancier
this,
than original.
Oh, right.
But that's what it means. That was the version originally released in the widest form.
Because there's the Justice League new version.
We've got the Snyder Cut.
Snyder Cut. I watched it, but it's 4 hours long. I think now, like they've taken
is it being because they flim-flam, because first it was going to be a 4-hour mega film, then it was going to be broken up into a mini series,
also 4 episodes, 3 or 4.
But now I think it's back to being a single film, with chapters. So
whenever I hear mini series, I'm like, no.
It's weird. What a mini series, because they're calling WandaVision a mini series. It's like, well, it is 9 episodes, but I think when they mean it in the context of it's a single, that's it. They won't.
One and done.
Probably won't.
It's a one and done. Yeah.
Yeah, they've said that they might do it, but at the moment, he's like Kevin Feige said he's happy to do more series, but it would also depend on Elizabeth Olsen.
It's like maybe they would come back to it, and they could theoretically come back to it 5 or 6, 7 years.
I mean, she's not old, is she? I don't know how old she is, but it's not like she's because Star Trek Picard. They're like, we'll do this as long as Patrick Stewart wants to do it. The guy's 80.
And they bless him. They wheel him out, and then they just get everyone else to do all the standing up.
I quite like Picard though.
I love him, but that shows.
That's like when they said, I don't know if it's a documentary, they were talking about Andre the Giant in his last matches. His back was so bad. I mean, there was a thing about him in Princess Bride where he couldn't even hold the woman, like she weighed 8 stone. He couldn't even hold her in his hands because his back was so bad. But he was still wrestling at the time, and he said, but his last fights was him standing still and everyone running around him, sort of bouncing off. Like he couldn't do it. He's just holding the rope and kicking every now and again,
taking a breather.
I've toyed every now and again. I see it pop up with Once Upon a Time in America, and I keep seeing it, thinking,
do watch it.
Like I should watch
it's
this.
long. It's long, but it is worth it. It's
with De Niro, isn't it? Is it De Niro?
De Niro, James Woods. It's so for people who aren't familiar, it's a Sergio Leone film. Obviously most famous for his westerns, but it's a gangster film with.
Is it set in like the 50s or something?
No, I think it's earlier than that. I think it might start earlier than that. It might start. I'd have to look it up, but I think it's slightly earlier. But it's they're Jewish immigrants, so it's slightly unusual. Obviously, we associate gangster with mafia, but these are. I mean, not that their Jewishness really particularly plays into it.
No, but they were the new poor people. Like, in fact, a lot of the early boxers were Jewish. Like it was always the poorest people that have come to the country.
But immigrants. It's really worth watching. It's really good. It is long. You can, but. I'm trying to think. I've got to.
Is it not based on anything? It's just a story.
Not as far as I'm aware. It might take different elements
Al Capone
from
or something.
No. There's no off the top of my head. I don't think there's any real because for example, in the novel of The Godfather, there's reference to Capone that Corleone and Capone had a rivalry briefly.
Yeah, and like Herman Roth was basically what's his name, the Murder Inc. guy.
Mayor.
Not Rothstein? No.
I've
forgotten. He was in Boardwalk Empire, but it's basically that guy. And Mo Green as well. Like was what's
Mo Green,
the guy? Yeah, Mo Green got one in the eye. No one said a damn thing.
Well, and
You're gonna
Johnny
straighten
Fontaine
out my
is,
brother?
Frank Sinatra.
Oh,
You're
Frank
straighten out my
Sinatra,
brother?
it's a Johnny Fontaine, and that's supposed to be a real story. Either your signature or your brains will be on that contract. Yeah.
Oh, Mowgli. It says so much. I don't even know why.
His last thing is just puts his glasses on. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
just
Just
goes
blam.
bang.
Yeah.
That's
And
the five
he's a real
families.
guy. He's supposed to be the real guy who sort of founded Las Vegas and got the mafia involved.
Yeah. Right, let's end this because we've got to end. Anything interesting happening? We're not going to be seen for a month, so anything going on? Andrew, you got anything coming up? More writing? You've been writing?
Yeah, just
consistently.
writing away on stuff. My own little things and then little projects with other people. And yeah.
Charles, what are you up to?
Working, doing a bit of writing.
Have you gone down your cheese? Have you curtailed your cheese a bit now?
Yeah. I'm getting a handle on my cheese usage. Don't worry.
Are you down to dairy leaves? Like, are you on? It's like your methadone. It's a popular dairy leaf every now and again.
Yeah, it's
Can you
sickly
eat dairy
sweet.
leaf slices, or is that offensive to you? Like, you don't even assault
I'll eat
me.
any cheese, man. I don't care.
Oh,
Or
really?
dairy cheese, little triangle or the laughing cow.
Yeah, but I thought that would be
snack.
like saying to a wine connoisseur, "Do you like Lambrini?" He'd be like, "Please don't insult me with a child's cheese."
No, but that's the thing with it because they're small. They're so small and so soft. You just when no one's looking, quickly unwrap.
But I could never get them out the packet fully. There's a quarter that wouldn't come out. I could never open.
That's just your big gorilla ham. So that's the problem.
Open it with a hammer, just on open sesame. You never don't hear that for. I haven't loaded up for a while. Open sesame. I don't even know where that came from. That used to be a thing when I was a kid.
I mean, it's often. It's. I don't know if it's in. I don't think it's in.
Was it in a film? Must have been.
Is it in the Arabian
1001
Nights?
Nights,
Or,
but it's-
Yeah, I was going to. It must have been in a film. So there you go. So that is definitely the end of season 1. You will now not hear from us for I'd say about a month.
So
until we're
we
in the
need
office.
some sad music as we
violin just slightly in the background. Well, we might have to leave that up to Charlie. Kerem might put one of his little edits that he does every 3 months. He just throws in a random edit when he's probably when he's arguing with his wife and he's going to slam the door and he's like, right, I've got nothing to do here. Let me kill 2 hours.
I like
just put do an
when
edit.
he's got nothing to do. This would be his.
Yeah, this is the breakfall. So yeah, that's the end of season 1. Bloody hell! If you again, we've said this if you don't, but if you are still with us now,
you're a
God
soldier.
bless
We
you.
respect. And we
God
respect
bless
that.
you.
We respect
That's,
that.
yeah, that's a tough cookie. That is. If
You
stuck
have
with it.
passed the test.
You entered. Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I suppose you would. Yeah. You. It will be an upgraded version. These have all been test shows. These 100 shows. They've all been test shows.
So it's been a sound
100
test.
shows.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
all
for
been
me,
a
like, technically.
It's all been an
sound
elaborate
test.
prank, isn't it? Yeah.
Right, now we know the equipment works. We're going to start taking it seriously.
The real show's starting soon.
Yeah.
Guys,
We're not messing around in the new studio, mate. We ain't messing around. We're heading to the top. So that's the end of season 1. We've had some tears. We've had some laughter.
I must have missed that episode.
Yeah. Oh, you weren't there for that one. This is before you came
No, exactly.
Andrew's got his nice jumper on to celebrate the last show. He's put a nice ironed jumper on. Do you iron? Do men iron? I haven't ironed a thing for
I
about
think men
20
iron,
years.
but I don't iron a jumper. No. I could iron a shirt if I was going out.
Yeah, but that's it, though. I mean, I wonder if there's even still around irons. Who's ironing? I know women.
for work. For jobs and stuff.
What
If you
an
have a
end
proper
to
job.
season 1. Do people still iron?
No, but I mean,
You don't see much ironing nowadays.
I know. I do think it's going away. I know you see women iron blouses or trousers, but men don't get out and iron. That's mental. Like, who's got time
I used
for
to
that?
iron my shirt every day when I went to work. So
Oh, you did? Oh, well done. I mean, I give you dues for that. I ain't got time for that, mate. I'll just
It's only because they complained.
Oh, right.
It's only with a
Yeah.
non-iron shirt.
It was in
I
your
didn't give a
contract.
damn.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
they were
that's
just
a
like,
quote for the
dude, you
ages.
got to smarten up, man. Like,
Well,
that's
we've
it.
ended the 100th show. We've ended on ironing clothes, so that's a good.
This is a free podcast.
You have not been
Hey.
charged for these 100 shows. These have been a gift to you. You can have these for free. These 100 shows.
But
So
there's
that's
also
it.
no gift receipt. You can't change.
So the next show we will be back live from our new studio. We will be we're being hailed as Camden new tenants. We're going to Camden, and it's going to be much more musical themed. I'll be milking that a bit of music. Seeing it is the coolest town in London. Don't say anything, Andrew. So we are going to be the coolest podcast.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was
thought you were
was
gonna
more
question
curious
it being
about
the
like,
coolest.
what do you mean musical?
Well, it's Camden, rock and roll. I'm going for that.
I thought you meant like, hello to the Vialucci show.
No, we're not, yeah.
I mean, if you want to get a tattoo or your ear pierced, I mean, forget about it,
Yeah.
It's
Or get shot, maybe. Some people have been shot in Camden recently. That's quite nice.
Yeah. Or get ripped off. Get ripped off. Like,
if you want to buy fake weed,
It's just that bit when you come right out of Camden Station, isn't it? It's just that little. It's a little bit like Brixton. I know we were saying goodbye about half an hour. It's a bit like when you come out of Brixton Station, and it's just that initial like, I just need to elbow past or not look at the people. Being like, excuse me for a second, can I jest?
The
and
street
like,
sellers.
But they're not. I'm like, you've got nicer trainers than I have. Fuck off for asking me for money. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
like
those got a gold tooth. I can't afford a gold tooth.
It's just like there with your.
Anyway. We're on Camden. We're on our way. We'll be with you soon. And so that's 100 shows. So if you have been listening for this month, genuinely, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And we will see you for our 100th show, or the first show of our second season in about a month. So thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.
Take care. Good luck.
Cheers.
Bye.
You have not been charged for this show. Kerem, cut that off. No, that's it. Stop, Kerem. That's it. Right, I'm pressing stop.
Here's your story. Let's begin. The water's fine. Come on, dive in. The future's here. It's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. You're welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could. Times are changing everywhere. Do we dream and do we dare? It's up to you. The door is open wide. Feel the rhythm of today. Learn the part and join the play. The world is here. Let's take it for a ride. You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could. Larger, larger than, bigger, bigger than, living hopes and dreams. Every boy and girl, higher, higher than, brighter, brighter than, all you wanted. You know, you could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You can have all you ever wanted. Hopes and dreams, every boy. You can fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You can have all you ever wanted. You know you could.